Hello, ladies and gentlemen and people of geometry. I want to see how Unit 3 went. Unit 3 is definitely probably, I would say, the toughest overall unit in Geometry A. So if you came through that with, pretty unscathed, pretty, without a few scars, then you're probably in good shape. So, now we move on to Unit 4. And Unit 4 deals a lot with, the shapes that are bigger than triangles. Okay, so a lot of quadrilateral stuff, but we'll get to that very, very soon. Right now we're going to talk about polygons. Okay, so polygons is kind of a broad term, and a polygon is just this. Basically, it is a closed figure made up of sides, okay, and these sides intersect at endpoints. Okay, so these would be polygons, these not so much. And one thing to note is that endpoints, okay, sometimes are called vertices. Okay, sometimes those are called vertices. That's just kind of your points where they meet. Okay, so like on the star over here, all these little red dots, those would be considered vertices, as would those. Okay. And one other term that you might need to be familiar with is concave and convex. So they might say like a convex polygon. A convex polygon just looks like that. A concave polygon would be something like this, where it kind of goes back into the shape and back out. That would be concave. Don't worry too much about it. Just if they say convex, don't be thrown by that language. So I want to kind of consider something. I want us to look at, just start looking at some shapes and kind of see what happens. So for the number of sides of a polygon, so we have a triangle. So there's 3 sides. Number of triangles, 1. So the sum of the interior angles, so remember that from Unit 3, is that the sum of all angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. The measure of regular interior angles. Okay, so regular has a very distinct meaning in geometry. When you say regular, that means all sides are equal and all angles are equal. So here you would just take 180 divided by 3, and it's going to be 60 degrees. Okay, so each one of those, each angle here would be 60 degrees. Okay, 60 degrees. So what's the measure of an exterior angle? So exterior means outside, so how do I find that? Well, if I extend out one side, okay, and I know that this is going to be 60 degrees, then my exterior angle is going to be 120 degrees. Now, how do I know that? Well, if I extend this line, okay, a line's got to be 180 degrees, and all I end up doing is going to be taking 180 minus, okay, my interior angle. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to take 180 minus my interior angle, and that's going to give me my exterior angle. Okay? Okay, so triangles aren't too tough, especially once we passed Unit 3. So now we have a 4-sided figure. Okay, this is not a square, not a rhombus, not a rectangle. Technically, it's called a quadrilateral. Quad meaning 4 and lateral meaning sides. So that's it. So number of sides, 4. Number of triangles. So the way I figure out the number of triangles is if I just kind of connect dots. Okay, that's going to be 2 triangles. Okay, and I could have just as easily kind of gone across this way. Okay, but I want to create as few triangles as possible, so I can go across this way. That would still be 2 triangles. Okay, so that's still 2 triangles. So now the sum of the interior angles. Well, if I have 2 triangles, then I have 2 times 180 degrees, so my sum total is going to be 360. Okay, so if it's regular interior, so that means all 4 sides are equal and all 4 angles are equal, so that would be 360 divided by 4. That would be 90 degrees. Okay, this would be a square. Okay, that would be a square. 4 equal sides, 4 90-degree angles, that's going to be a square. And four-sided figures, you know, if the interior is 90 degrees, and quite obviously the outside is going to be 90 degrees, and again, I just took 180 minus 90 degrees. Remember, that's because this is the line. This is from this line right here. Okay, so line's 180 degrees, so that's what I subtract. So now we start getting into a little bit trickier shapes. Okay, a little bit trickier shapes. Shapes that we're obviously not as comfortable with. So if I consider the pentagon, okay, and to number of sides, pretty obvious, 5. Number of triangles, and this one, there's a whole bunch of different choices I could do. I'll just start here at this bottom left corner, and all I'm going to do is draw 1, 2. Okay, I'm just going to connect that to the 2 points I'm not already connected to. Okay, so I'm already connected here. I'm already connected here. I'm just going to combine them. So that would be 1, 2, 3 triangles. That's going to be 3 triangles. So my sum is going to be 3 times 180. Okay, so 3 times 180 will be a total of 540 degrees. That'll be 540 degrees. Now, so regular interior angles, again, means all 5 of these are equal. Okay, so I'm going to take 540 divided by 5. And that's going to give me 108 degrees. So then for the exterior angle, I know that's 108. So what is 180 minus 108? It is going to be 72 degrees. Okay, so it's going to be 180 minus 72 degrees. Okay? So now let's go one more. Okay? So 6 sides, okay, often called a hexagon, or correctly name a hexagon. So same kind of idea. If I just take kind of this corner, and you could do this with any of the points on here, any of the vertices, you would still end up with the same number of triangles. So if I go 1, 2, 3 lines there, so I get 1, 2, 3, 4. So 6 sides, 4 triangles. The sum of the interior angles is going to be 180 times 4, which should be 720. So to do that, I was going to take 720 divided by 6. So that makes each one of these 120 degrees. So you start to kind of notice the pattern. Okay, this is 120, this is going to be 60. So you would take 180 minus 120 to get that. Okay, so there's another pattern that's happening here that I kind of want you to notice. Okay? And here's kind of what we're going to fill in the blank. Okay? So for a polygon, you know, whatever shape it is, we're just going to say it has n sides. Okay, we're just going to say it has n sides. This is kind of a general form. Okay, so we're just going to kind of call an n-sided polygon. So if you notice, you know, when we had 3 sides, we had 1 triangle. When we had 4 sides, we had 2 triangles. When we had 5 sides, we had 3 triangles. When we had 6 sides, we had 4 triangles. So that's a common pattern. So my number of triangles is always going to be whatever my sides is, subtract 2. However number of sides is going to be subtract 2 from it. Okay, so then my sum of interior angles, remember all I did was take my triangles times 180. So all I'm going to do n minus 2 times 180. Okay, that was going to give me my sum. And then to figure out your interior angles, I'm going to take my total, n minus 2 times 180. You know, this was where we got our sum total, you know, the 180, 360, 540, 720. And over here is where we divided it by our number of sides. Okay, these two are going to be huge. These two things are going to be huge, so make a note to be by them. All right, make a note to, kind of make sure you got that. So then this is going to give you one angle. Okay, we'll just call that A. It's going to give you the angle. Then over here, all I would do is take 180 minus that angle. Okay, that's all I'm doing. All right, that's all I'm doing. All right, and one thing that I want you to notice is this, and this is something that I didn't really mention very much as we were going through this, but I do want to mention it now. The sum total of all exterior angles, okay, sum total of all exterior angles is always going to be 360 degrees, okay? No matter what shape, it's always going to be 360 degrees. So a shortcut is to take 360 degrees divided by my number of sides. That's going to give me my exterior angle every single time. 360, no matter what, divided by my number of sides. You can do a quick check. 360 divided by 3 was 120. If you go back and look, that's what my exterior angle is. 360 divided by 4 is 90. 360 divided by 5 is 72. Those were all matched up. 360 divided by 6 equals 60. All right, that was what happened every single time. So I can take 180 minus that, or I can take 360 divided by my number of sides. Okay, and I should have kind of shown you a little bit more in there, but I apologize, I didn't. So now let's look. So this should be kind of what you're looking at. Big picture. Make sure you put a note on this to kind of keep this handy, because you're going to want it nearby. So now when I look, heptagon, hepta means 7. So if I want my interior angles, I'm going to take 7 minus 2 times 180. Okay, so that's 5 times 180. So that's going to be 900 degrees. That is my sum of my interior angle. Okay, that's what I want. That's what I want. Pretty makes sense. After about 12, we just kind of name number of sides by like literally 18 gone. So that just means it has 18 sides, whatever. So I want to take 18 minus 2 times 180. So 16 times 180 is going to be 2880. That's my sum total of all the angles in those shapes. That's what I'm looking at. Okay? Okay. So keep up this idea. Let's change gears here. Okay, so now let's see what they want us to figure out. X, figure out A, figure out B. Okay, well, B is pretty easy. I mean, that's a 90-degree angle. That's a dead giveaway. So let's see. So we have 1, 2, 3. We have 4 sides. Okay, we have 4 sides. So our total will be 4 minus 2 times 180, which will give me 360 degrees. Okay, so that's my total. So now, what do I do with that? Well, I have my 360, and that's going to be equal to my angle. So I'm going to be equal to x plus 3x plus 90 plus 90. So boom, 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 my 4 angles. So let's see what happens. Put that together. And then it's just a couple algebraic steps. (180) divided by 4 should be 45 degrees, or 45. So now that it doesn't answer the question, that tells me what x is. But they want to know what a is. Okay, a is going to be 3 times 45. Okay, angle A is going to be equal to that. So angle A is going to be equal to 135. And we already figured out that B was 90, and we're done. And we're done. Okay, so now this one's a little trickier. So if you look back in your notes, you can see 5 sides. Okay, so 3 triangles. So 3 times 180 is going to be 540. So now that's my total. So all of these are equal to 540. So if I take 3x plus 14 plus 2x plus 142 plus 2x plus 3x plus 14 all equals 540. So now it's just a big, algebra problem. So 3x, 2x, 2x, 3x. That'll be 10x. And then 142 plus 14 is 170. Okay, now it's just doing a little algebra. 540 minus 170 is 370. A little division, x equals 37. There you go. There's my answer. Biggest battle is my setup. Is making sure I got my total right, making sure I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides, and then going from there. Okay. Okay, so now if the measure of an interior angle of a regular polygon is 135, find the number of sides that it has. Okay, so I'll show you 2 ways to do this. One way is that if my interior angle here is this, okay? So one way to do this would be to solve, say, n minus 2 times 180 over n equals 135. Okay, then you have to do some algebra. You have to do so you have to be a little clever. So I'd multiply both sides by n. That cancels out. Distribute that. Then bring the n back over. Take the 360 over. And that will give me, let's see, 180 minus 135. I really hope it's 45. It is. 45n equals 360. So divide by 45, divide by 45. So 360 divided by 45 is just going to be 8. So that tells me that this thing has got 8 sides. Okay, now that way will work. It's a little brute force, just kind of, you're kind of plowing through there algebraically and just doing a lot of solving. A little more clever way to do it might be to realize, okay, so if my interior angle, if I just kind of sketch this interior angle, it's 135 degrees. Okay, which means my exterior angle has got to be 180 minus that. Okay, 180 minus 35, minus 135, sorry, is going to be 45 degrees. So that means my exterior angle will be 45 degrees. Well, I know that my sum of exteriors is going to be 360. So if I take 360 divided by 45, I get 8. Okay? So essentially what I'm doing is I'm doing this last step, but I'm just kind of intelligently getting there without having to do a lot of algebra. So and if you practice with that a little bit, and if you feel comfortable with it, that'll be very, very nice. But realizing, hey, my interior angle is this. That means my exterior angle has to be 45. I know that my exterior angles have to add up to 360. So I just do a little division and I'm done. Okay, so here, a lot of going on here. So these are all, please notice these are all exterior. I'm going to change colors here. Go red. So I know that they're all exterior, which means I know that they all have to add up to 360. Okay, so now I just kind of put them all in there. 2x plus 3 plus 5x plus 5 plus 5x plus 4x minus 6 plus 5x minus 5 plus 4x plus 3. Didn't give myself quite enough room there. Okay, so now it's just a big, ugly looking algebra problem, okay? So I gotta make sure I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 angles. Okay, so now let's put together everything. Well, 6x, 2x, 5x. Okay, so that gives me 13 plus 5 more is 18. Okay, 22 plus 5 is 27 plus 4 is 31. So that would be 31x. Okay, if you don't believe me, throw it through your calculator. Then I'm going to change colors here just for the numbers. So minus 12 plus 3. Minus 12 plus 3 is minus 9, negative 9. Negative 9 plus 5. Negative 9 plus 5 is going to be negative 4. Minus 6 is going to be negative 10. Minus 5 goes negative 15. Plus 3 means I go negative 12. Okay, so let's see, minus 12 plus 3 plus 5 minus 6 minus 5 plus 3. Yeah, minus 12. Okay, so now, just algebra. All right, so it's 372 divided by 31. X is just going to be 12. And I'm done. So the big part here was recognizing that that's all going to be exterior. Okay? So now this one, it's what is the measure of an exterior angle of a regular decagon? Decagon simply means 10. Exterior is a big clue here. So you know that it's always got to be 360 divided by 10. So it's going to be 36 degrees. It's one of those, it's all in the wording. Okay? Okay. So last piece, we talked a little bit about the beginning, convex versus concave. Just kind of noticing that for concave, they're all going in. They kind of go inside the shape and back out, okay? So that's it. So now you're going after 4-1, and then you're going to do the quizzes for 100%. All right, I look forward to answering your questions. Thank you.